Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, friend, beloved God, beloved masters, saints of all religions, our beloved Guru Paramhansa Yogananda ji, we invoke your presence in our daily lives. Help us to be creative in solving our problems, inviting your presence, that you may use us as instruments. Inspire us with your thoughts and ideas. Give us the strength and energy, the consciousness to carry out those ideas. And as we creatively share your consciousness, may we receive upliftment and joy, and may we bring these gifts to all. Om Shanti. Let's sing together, just for about 2 minutes. Let's meditate just for a minute. Feeling about 50 of us, we're all sitting in silence together. Om, Om, Om Shanti. Welcome once again, everybody. And it's really nice to see you all. And as it happens in many classes, new faces. Now, I'll speak for about 10 minutes, and this is on the subject of creativity. And, here we come on the spiritual path. I believe most of the people over here are from Ananda or interested in spiritual teachings or the teachings of Yogananda ji. And we sometimes move away from things, or perhaps, let's say if you were a manager, or in my case, I used to be a surgeon, and my specialty. I was part of India's first pilot project of rural surgeons. What is that? Well, let's say you have to do a hernia surgery. Now there are, of course, the procedure is pretty much laid out. But then imagine the person who is standing in front of you, your patient. He says, I have no money. I cannot stay in a hospital 6 days, 5 days, as I have to be out in 3 days. I really don't have money for the entire 2 week medical treatment after that. And that is a real limitation. For some people, that's really life and death, less and less so now. But it used to be, this is what I can afford. And that's it. You must, if you want to do it within this. And now, of course, unfortunately, you can do a shoddy job and you can just say, no, I won't do it. On the other hand, you can say, now how are we going to do this creatively? My professor, he was the person who performed India's first liver transplant, and the patient survived in that effort. There had been many attempts. Now it's common. It's still a very big procedure, major procedure, but then at least 30 years ago had not had a living survivor at that time. He also, interestingly, one time developed what turned out to be, now it's part of international surgical textbooks, for what we call colorectal surgery, tumors of the large intestine. A particular procedure, a variation that he developed, is now adopted worldwide. And if you looked at that person, and without knowing his name, his credentials, I remember the first time I had seen him in a crowd of about 300 doctors, because it was a big hospital. It was lunchtime. I was sitting there with somebody. And the moment he walked in, I knew something is very special about this person. It was not only his white hair, which can make you stand out a little bit, that, oh, somebody is wise, they got experience. Yes, but there was something else. He was very relaxed. He was hardworking. That's what many other doctors who had trained him for decades would tell us. As a junior doctor, he would simply sit with his patient at that time, 25 hours, 26 hours, 17 hours, get the patient, operate, sit. We're talking of those times where one really learned that way, as it is said, bedside. What am I trying to share over here? That Paramhansa Yogananda ji said that, of course, God created the universe. He has made you and me. He has become everything. But then he expects us. Actually, Yogananda ji said, God never does anything without the help of willing instruments. So let's say you're thinking of creativity. Now, many times when people are creative, they think, I did it. I thought this. But if you really see a person, I saw Swami Kriyananda ji. He was creative for 60, 70 years of his life. 450 pieces of music. He never said, this is my music. He said, it was given to me. He knew every story behind every music. When he was driving and it was given to him, when somebody passed away and he wanted to write something and the music was given, when somebody was getting married and he wanted a melody. And he said, I asked Divine Mother. And sometimes as he got better and better at it, he said, because God knows us. It's not like there is a formula you have to pray and then God will say, okay, Aditya is praying nicely. What shall we do about this? And then let's grant him his wish. On the other hand, Swami said, sometimes even before my prayer was over, the melody was given. And Swami would be so amazed that just by being a humble, willing instrument, and if I have to draw the parallel, let's say, between the procedure Swamiji was using and what my professor did, or for that matter, Albert Einstein or any great artist, yourself too. Anytime a really life-changing or uplifting idea must have come to you, there are certain common principles over there. One is relaxation. Just because you're doing a 24-hour hospital shift, you don't have to be nervous or stressed. It can be very engrossing. Albert Einstein would forget to eat food sometimes for 24, 36 hours. Thomas Edison, he learned a technique of sleeping where he would sleep on a slightly higher couch in his lab. It was high so that his hand could dangle from the side but not touch the floor. And why? Because he would hold a spoon, a metal spoon in his hand. And just when you go deep in sleep, the body relaxes and his hand would relax and the spoon would fall from his grasp onto the floor, and that sound would wake him up. And he found out that in that flash of a time, he got good ideas of the next invention and what to try next. And you may say, well, that's strange. Not at all. Again, there's a principle over there. Paramhansa Yogananda ji said, when we wake up and we are coming out of subconscious state. And when we are conscious right now. And he said, but for a moment, we cross through superconscious state. Same thing when we are going to sleep, which is why sometimes you have a very inspiring thought and you're like, wow, it wakes you up because your consciousness just comes out into a very, very high state. So let's say somebody asks you to be creative. I remember I went to a workshop, a corporate workshop over here in Pune many years ago. And somebody had done a presentation before I went, and there was a big whiteboard where about 100 people could sit in that room. So really big whiteboard. But there was only one phrase written on it, and over and over and over and over, they had circled around it. And that phrase was brainstorming. And I looked, and I had to, of course, clean it up so I could write what my topic was, which was meditation and stress management. And I looked at that and I said, it's okay. You can storm your brain and the brain of your team members. And it's like in olden times when television sometimes did not work, you can knock it a few times and maybe something good will come out. On the other hand, the true genius to think out of the box is to learn how to receive. Paramhansa Yogananda ji said, we live in a physical world. There is a world of energy that's called the astral world. There is a whole universe of ideas called causal universe. And above that is God, who is the creator. What I'm trying to say is, if we want to be creative, I have a friend, I know him very well. He created Swipe for every smartphone in the world, where you just write, let's say, I want to go to the market, but you move your fingers around the alphabet. That's how most people type now. And artificial intelligence, or earlier before AI, the simpler form of AI would suggest what you're trying to say. Well, he didn't sweat it out really. On one level, he was from childhood trying to see how he can help handicapped people communicate better because they find it cumbersome to type and think it through. So he created this system, but how did he really do it? Because it had never been done before. Well, he would meditate. In this case, he was a disciple, so he would pray to God and gurus, and he would say, I have written the program so far. What do I do next? I'm not able to go through to the next step. And when you relax, what happens is your heart rate, your breath rate, your ego really is out of the way. Now, sometimes meditation can increase the ego. Even creativity can increase the ego if you say, this is my creation. But let's assume you are humble enough to say, what does God want to do through me? And when we pray that way, when we are relaxed, Edison was not praying to God, at least I don't know if he was, but the point is physical relaxation, emotional relaxation, mental relaxation, and spiritually, Kriyananda ji said meditation is ever deeper relaxation in God. So yes, there is a problem. We must find a solution to it. But if we can learn not to be disinterested in the problem, you are very interested. But in anxiety, we often don't. It's like you have to hit a target, the bullseye. How can you be anxious? You have to be focused. And the one point in the brain where focus, willpower, resilience, think of the resilience of Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison, my professor, and many others. Any yogi, when you meditate all your life for a goal of God realization, that's resilience and creativity. Where are all these things singularly expressed in the brain? Well, at the point between the two eyebrows, the prefrontal lobe. And so when we meditate and we lift our gaze and we can be there longer and longer in what is called the state of super consciousness, and Swami said, ask a question and learn to listen to what God is saying and receive the answer. So I invite you now in this coming week, whether it's creativity in laying out your house, finding some problem, how to work with somebody else, finding, I don't know, some writing a software, anything, or like my professor did, how to make you should know your subject, but then a deeper insight. Everybody goes to the same college. They have the same books. They have the same teacher. But some people excel, Swamiji said, because they know how to listen. They are able to develop what is called intuition and creativity. Intuition too is over here. Creativity is the same gift that we learn how to be co-creators with God. God then finally says, here is a clean, humble instrument. He can give it to you if you ask for him in egoic way also. But since this is a spiritual platform, creativity in that way brings deep relaxation and we can learn to receive. And when, of course, we meditate, what are the health benefits that come? Well, physically, you're relaxed. Think of heart rate, breath rate, blood pressure, sleep. You're not storming your brain. You are open. You're trying to receive. In trying to even, and I'll close with this, let's say we are praying for other people. Well, sometimes the illness has come for a reason. We may not like to hear that, but that's what the yogis have said. What's the karma behind it? What's the lesson behind it? Are we rushing to simply take it away, or have we learned our lessons over there? What is God trying to tell us? And once we know what the treatment or the prescription is, of course we should pray. Of course we should aim to alleviate that suffering. But let's go back to that problem, that the source, that where did the challenge come, and how can I then creatively, in a fun way, in a more beautiful way, in a more inspiring way, try to find a solution. Om Guru. I'll invite